When it comes to students wanting to break free, I have less experience directly with this, largely because a lot of my work in secondary education is still with students who live under the same household as their parents. But an important aspect of it, where that sense of breaking out of that cage or just being your own self really comes through when you look at the application essays that these students write. So for a lot of them, whether they apply to universities in, say, the United Kingdom, particularly universities in the United States, they often have to write not just a personal statement, but a wide variety of other supplemental essays that speak to their ambitions, to their desires, to their potential plans for the future. And consistently, the perception that you can glean from those essays and from the conversations that students have is college is their escape. Getting into a university in a foreign country, in a land, let's say, like America, as the promised land of sorts or whatever, a terrible narrative, but still, right? For them, that is their emancipation. This chance to get away from it all. Like, I have one student right now, ridiculously brilliant, very talented, and has a strong sense of purpose in what he wants to do. And his local environment has been such that he was bullied up until recently. And as a result of that, he's had his own struggles with drug addiction already at the tender age of 15. And that's not an uncommon problem. If you hear a lot about the environment at both international and local schools, drug use, particularly fueled by the anxiety of their environment, is a particularly pertinent trend, that and cyberbullying. But coming back to this, you have someone who's academically talented and smart, and on top of that has a particularly keen passion for what he wants to do. He has a very well-defined plan, and his knowledge about the things that he wants to work in is already world-class at the age of 15, because he's been reading about this, researching about this, spending his spare time doing this since he was 7. And if it takes 7 years of dedicated work to become a global expert, this kid at the age of 16 has already put in 9 years. And his parents are essentially pressuring him to apply to universities in the US, to go through what is a very hectic process, when he's already identified that he wants to go to universities in a different country. And he's identified exactly why he wants to do it. He's done it for the best reasons that anybody can choose them for, which is your own passion, which is the opportunities that you want afterwards. But the environment he faces at home is that his parents just won't listen to him, right? And so for him, getting into college is his emancipation. The consistent theme that I come across whenever I talk to him is that I want to do stuff with, let's say, cars and all of these things, and the only chance I'm really going to have to do this on my own terms is when I'm living on my own, right out of the gate, right out of my freshman year in college. And he's already optimizing around that. He's planning around that. Like in another case, less severe, we had a student academically extraordinarily talented, like all A's, very easily, like very smart, and fits the Asian stereotype model of a very dutiful son. But at the same time, his greatest hobby was sneaking onto rooftops at old buildings in Hong Kong or other buildings in Hong Kong, and just being able to relax with his friends and have a moment away from the grind of daily life. He's pursuing engineering now. We were able to get him into Stanford, so yay. But the part of the biggest reason he wanted to go to Stanford is because he's heard that the campus there is extraordinarily beautiful and offers great chances for photography. And that was his motive as well. So for him, he could have gotten into any great engineering school. He particularly chose this one because it was a balance between satisfying his parents' wishes, that, my son got into Stanford, yay, with the idea that once I'm there, I'm going to spend the majority of my time either, bonding with my roommates over ramen at, 3 a.m. in the morning and finding cool spots to take pictures of. And for him, that's how he chooses to express himself. And for a lot of kids, that's the consistent theme. They just want to get out, wherever they get out to, right? For them, it's that now we're separated from this environment and we have a chance to develop whatever it is we want to do, or to mess up if we want to.